And then I remember I was just talking with a friend, just like casual conversations. I was like, killer cam, and then the teacher would just like swung her head around, as if I was like,
Thou shalt not invoke the name of the damned.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Flowable. This is a podcast where two acquaintances talk about whatever comes to mind and ramble on about it for however long. I'm Erol, and I'm joined by my usual co-host Leorge.
And someone else as well.
Hi, I'm more cool than both of these two people, and I'm here to make sure they can keep a conversation for more than 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, hopefully we don't segue into bread and pastry like we did in the first episode.
Hopefully not.
So, the question that I want to pose to you guys is what you would do if you're a ghost.
I think Leorge should take this one first, Get us a little insight into his brain.
Okay. What perks would you get as a
Ghost
ghost?
perks.
So you would be able
Doesn't-
to like interact with things, but people won't be able to see you.
So Leorge, you know how ghosts work? That.
Yeah. They're just invisible, like.
They're
people, I guess.
invisible and they can move things and, basically it.
Okay.
Unless you
So
want
what
to
would
get
you do
complicated.
if you were a ghost?
I mean, there's no real reward other than, I guess, joy from messing with people. Because, like, if you steal something from them, you can't really. I don't know. I guess I'd blow up a place.
Okay, Alfie.
I'd rob a bank. Plain and simple.
What are you gonna do with the money,
there's
though?
nothing, there's nothing they can do about it. I'd rob a
Yeah,
bank.
but
Yeah, but
Robobank.
what would you do with the money? You
what
can't
am I
spend
going
it.
to do with the money? I'm going to get it to a buyer.
So you just do
I
it for the
mean,
fun.
if you're gonna steal from a bank, you might as well steal the object directly from the shop.
No. Shush. See, I get some guy to hire my ghost business so I can go rob a bank for him, yeah? And I give him the stuff and they can provide me with whatever the hell I want as a ghost,
Or you can just get the stuff yourself.
Can't do anything with it. I'm a ghost.
What? Okay, so then why do you need a person to get you stuff that you can't do anything with?
Because we're funny.
That's not.
We're really funny.
It's just redundant. No, it's just
I don't
redundant.
care how redundant it is. As a ghost, you're just living life not being able to go and die properly. So you might as well do something
Or
funny.
do anything in your case.
If you're immortal, you might as well live your life well instead of being bored, yeah.
And how does that relate to ghost lives?
Because ghosts are immortal.
And,
Have you ever seen a ghost die, Leorge?
I mean, you can kill a ghost.
No, you can't. You can't kill a ghost.
Doing some freaking ritual in some
You can't
movies.
kill a ghost.
You vanquish.
You can't kill a ghost.
Have you what sort of ghost movies have you seen that you?
I'm not a horror movie fan. I'm not a horror movie fan at all.
There are no ghost movies. Because what do you do? What do? You just
like
put
Casper.
a thing in a room.
No,
Casper.
Yeah, I'm
sure,
not much of a
bro.
horror movie fan. I'm not much of a movie fan, period. So I can't relate.
Not much of a like what?
What do you mean you're not much of a movie fan? You gotta watch.
I don't watch
some
movies
scary
more than I
movies.
watch TV shows or YouTube.
So you watch TV shows more than movies?
Well, yeah, I
Have you
guess.
seen any
but-
ghost TV shows then?
No, I don't watch horror or ghost related esque kind of things
And why not? Why are you scared? You scared, Leo? Just scared of ghosts?
because they don't interest me.
Okay, because I'm not into anything horror related, and more specifically, that's the reason why I haven't played FNAF yet. And
Mhm.
like, Alfie,
What's-
I'm very sure that Alfie's played some
Oh yeah, I
FNAF.
have it installed on my computer, right? And I can open it right now. But I'm not
It's
going
like-
to since I'm trying to record this.
So how do you fare with horror games?
Very simple. If you play it long enough, it stops being scary. That's how
And
the mind
you
works.
Can just
You can
watch
get
other
used
people
to
play them
something.
for you.
Shut up. It's very simple. It's a very simple fact of the mind. It stops being scary once you're not scared of it anymore.
And FNAF isn't very scary. It's just quite startling.
I mean, I know that a recent horror game that's come out is Phasmophobia.
Oh my god, Phasmophobia is incredibly fun.
Wait, what? What
Can
game?
you describe it? Because I haven't really...
Alright, so
into it.
Phasmophobia. Basically a ghost hunting simulator, multiplayer, you know.
Oh, it's multiplayer.
Yeah, it's multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't honestly care for it, to be fair.
I'd still like to hear about it, though. Like, what's
mean-
the premise?
It's just ghost hunting. It's not very complicated.
Because I've
You're
seen a
wrong.
lot of people playing it and streaming it.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so popular, but it's a good game.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
not
either.
like
I
it's
don't really care
scary,
for
it's
it.
just
Well, I don't
unnerving.
really care
There's
for
no
that
actual
enough for
jump
it.
scares in it. You know, unless you think a pair of hands is jump scare, there's no jump scare. Just
So,
regular old ambient horror.
so in
I-
contrast with FNAF, would it be more or less scary?
Well,
Or
it
less
depends.
horror?
Because with Phasmophobia, you have to actively look at the thing that's trying to kill you. You have to actually track it down while it does the creepy stuff. But with FNAF, you have to stop them getting in. If you get like good at the game, you can play the game without ever seeing them.
I mean, you have to see him eventually, but talking.
No, I mean like without there ever being a scary situation, you can get
Oh
to the
yeah,
point
yeah,
where
yeah. Just use the mark strategy.
yeah, that whatever. But like
Anyway, yeah, okay.
it can
Anyways,
with that it can be avoided, but with Phasmophobia you can't avoid it. You got to track it down.
right, okay, but because like on the topic of like horror movies and horror games, etc. At the time of recording, it's technically Halloween.
I mean,
Although
technically
I'm
it is
not
Halloween.
sure.
It is Halloween.
Yeah,
That's
but
yeah, it's Halloween. It's the 31st of October.
yeah, but
It's
how
not
do you
technically
think things
Halloween.
would go? How do you think this year's Halloween would go? Because of the current international situation.
Very simple. No one goes trick or treating.
Well, I mean,
Which
I've seen some stuff on the news where this guy, he has this like robot thingy that he spent like 10 years trying to develop. And it's kind of like this robot that like moves. He can use it like an Xbox 360 controller to move it. And there's like this, it holds this little tray full of sweets. And it just goes down the street offering sweets to children.
he's
Well,
just
that's
wasting
a waste
his time.
of time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Why would you do that?
Why would you spend all that time building a robot that can carry things for you and then give food to other
just
people?
build a robot
not
that
sure
contributes
about
to
this-
society, not like one that contributes to. Like,
I'm not entirely sure about the specifics, but they did say something about him taking like 9 years.
Or
to
if you
do the-
can build a functioning robot,
build it for
then
other
use
purposes
that
other than giving
skill
candy.
and make something worth selling to a big corporation.
Yes, build
and
a
make
robot that's
money.
not what that does other things apart from give candy to children.
With that technology, you could build like a robot that can do your washing or something.
Or an actual hoverboard.
Or that, not really, but you know, you get the idea. You're almost there.
Alright.
But if you have that as skill, why make something that you'll only use once a year and eventually people will get tired of, as opposed to
Yeah.
showing it to a company, getting a grant, and then being able to make much bigger things?
Yeah,
With the
exactly.
same
It's
skill.
the same premise as, you know, a Christmas gift being Christmas baubles, which you're gonna pack away afterwards.
Why are we talking about Christmas?
Because it's the same kind of premise.
It's Halloween.
No,
I
but
mean-
it's the same principle of what the whole John.
What do
The
you mean
moral
holidays?
of your conversation is I'm making an analogy. Essentially, it's an analogy.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Because I'm like, with the robot, I'm pretty sure there are like cameras in its eyes, and I'm sure that you could do it for anything beyond giving candy out to little children. Like, you could
Oh,
use
if
it
there's
in a
cameras
rest.
in it, you can use it to monitor the little children and make sure they go eat their greens, you know.
I mean,
Greens.
it would be a bit weird to have them just like standing in the kitchen, just eyeing you down, like, eat your spinach, eat your collard greens. I'm sure that would be a bit weird.
Yeah, but
But-
like, you could get it to the point where it's not as weird.
mean,
People,
But
if
it's
people
always gonna
start
be weird,
using
Alfie.
it.
You
No,
can't- it will never
if
not be
people start using it more and more, you eventually get used to it. It's like, no,
Okay.
it's like this.
But then it takes the
You ever-
parenting out of
no.
parenting.
No, Leorge, it's like this. Have you ever like gone to a new house, or have you ever moved house?
once when I was like 1 year old.
Okay, well, like, think back to your 1-year-old brain, and it had to get used to
No,
an
dude,
entire...
I can't remember anything above
just
like below
picture
6 years
it.
old.
Picture it, right? Your
Alright,
1-year-old
pop
brain
noodles.
had
Picture
to
of pop noodles.
adjust to an entirely new house for like all that time. Then eventually you got used to it.
Yeah, that's a house though.
Yeah, it's a house. It's a whole new environment you have to
It's
get
not a
used to.
freaking person,
Now there is a robot.
but it
Yeah,
pretty
okay,
much is one.
Before we go down this rabbit hole of robots spying on little children, I just want to say that the robot could be used for like photography and film, like especially with like running scenes or something. That you could use it, like control it using an Xbox controller. You could easily use it for action scenes,
Yeah,
other than
yes.
like
I mean, people
security
already
purposes.
do. People
Yeah,
already
it
do
already
use
exists.
robots for recording action scenes.
I mean, I'm just talking about this specific Halloween robot, but
The one with the tray.
Freaking coffee maker.
In a robot with a tray, there's not much you can do with it. It could bring you things and it could like lift
Yeah.
things, but much else?
and I would it be like creepy just having loads of robots in your house?
Oh, you know what else is creepy? Everyone remember Killer Clowns? Remember that?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, because
everybody
they
in yes.
existed.
No, it's like saying the word killer clown in primary school is like swearing.
How?
It's like,
How does that
okay.
relate to swearing?
Leorge, do you not know what the Killer Clowns are? Please
I
tell
know
me
what
you
they
do.
were. They're like a big craze thing back in 2018. But like, how does that relate to swearing?
No, okay, so I remember one time I was in year 6 and they just like explained to us all this stuff about like you should be careful on the streets because there could be killer clowns who are gonna do bad things to you. And then I remember I was just talking with a friend, just like casual conversations. I was like, "Psst, psst, psst, killer clowns," psst, psst," and then the teacher would just like swung her head around, as if I was like,
Thou
it's,
shalt not invoke
it's like
the
a
name of the
virtual assistant.
damned.
You don't have the
it-
freedom of speech in school for some reason, I guess.
it's like you just say the word Alexa, and then like your Echo just like it turns on, and it's like in detection mode, and then the teacher just walked up to me and gave me a like harsh telling
Yeah.
off, like you shouldn't be saying killer clown.
There are a bunch of school problems. There's a bunch of problems I have at school. I'll get to in a later episode, but that's just one.
So the thing about Killer Clowns, did any of them actually do anything bad, or was it just fear?
Was it?
Was it all
I
just
mean,
fear
them
mongering?
just being in an abnormal situation is already fear enough. It's already like it's justified.
No, but like if you call them Killer Clowns, why would they call that? They would just be called clowns with knives if they hadn't actually like done something.
I mean, like
I
I feel like
I guess some deaths have occurred. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, probably some deaths, crazy people all over the world. Some guy
What?
probably saw the killer clown thing as an excuse.
no, that just reminds me of all of those like those horrible crazies on the internet, like Momo. Like it just
Oh,
reminds me
yeah.
of all those
Let's not get into these.
It reminds me of all of those horror stories of children like dying because they listen to this creepy voice that's telling them to like
That's
put their
very-
hand in a stove. Like that's
Also,
creepy as hell.
Yeah, it's
I
in
don't.
freaking
Whenever
Ronald
one of
McDonald.
those comes up, I never believe it. Like, not even for a second, without hesitation. I'm just like, that is fake.
Yeah, and I remember freaking Ronald McDonald when that was part of McDonald's like branding for some reason.
Why are you
Actually,
talking?
Matt-
Why do you Ronald McDonald? Are you scared of
Because
Ronald
he's a freaking
McDonald?
clown, and apparently the internet thinks he's frick. But regardless, why are clowns hated upon?
Well, I mean, I can give you a few good reasons from my good friend Stephen King.
Who's Stephen King?
He's
know,
the
the-
author
the what?
of It.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it though.
do
Yeah,
you know
I've
what
seen
it's
it.
about?
It's something about clowns and the
Yeah,
children.
it's about an evil clown.
Right.
So you can, and it's the original was from long time ago. Not a long time ago. It was from like maybe the 80s. I forgot. It's not a
Oh.
long time ago. All however, do you want me to look it up?
The
I can look
80s.
it up now.
But, like
But- But like,
I couldn't.
it's not like a fear of clowns was a 2000s thing. Just they were always, well, not always, but been scared. They've been scary.
And it's just like the direct because I've only seen like part of the new iteration than like of the It movie. Like the way that they set it up, it was because they could have done it the other way and it would be absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But it worked so well at actually creating like a scary effect because I could not go through the movie without like, putting a pillow in front of my face.
Are there any other movies that like made people scared of things?
Mm,
I mean,
I don't know.
it's not
just
really.
thinking off the top of my head, you could say
There's like the
Alfred
The
Hitchcock
Ring,
or whatever.
or
The
The Onion.
Birds. The Birds. Probably made someone scared of birds.
Isn't there like a movie like something, The Ring or something?
Oh yeah,
or,
right.
like-
The Ring. Isn't that the one where the girl crawls out the TV or something?
Yeah.
Cursed video tape.
And then that made people, I guess, kind of scared of like VHS tapes.
It's just like other
Well, I
horror
mean
movie.
that would explain the whole creepy lost footage VHS. You know, well, it wouldn't like tie directly back to the Ring. I don't even know when the Ring was made. But that is
Yeah.
something,
And that's like 2
creepy.
generations before like CDs were like vanquished forever.
CDs haven't been vanquished forever.
Yeah,
That's
but
not-
nobody uses CDs. Let's be real.
A lot of people use CDs. Oh, you'd
Yeah,
be
for like older
surprised.
movies, but not for like current ones. They
For
just watch on like.
for movies, no, but in general, a lot of people use CDs.
Yeah, in general, yeah, but like movies, no. Like
I remember this like horror movie. It was like Alfie, you might have seen this. I'm not sure, but it's the one where they like related to putting this key through somebody's throat. Sorry, because that's a bit
no idea what you're
graphic.
talking
it
about.
doesn't come to mind.
I
But we're
I just
old.
Wait, no, we're not, Leorge.
we're very young, Leorge.
In the terms of contemporary horror movies,
Yeah, I know. In
we
terms
are
of physical
babies.
state, we're not
we are,
old.
We
In
are,
terms of
s- we are
culture, I feel like we're old.
In terms of culture, what do you mean in terms of culture?
Remember freaking Gangnam Style from 2012?
Oh boy, Gangnam Style. We're so old if we remember Gangnam Style.
I think it's more of a
No.
nostalgic thing instead of.
Yeah,
feeling
yeah,
old.
yeah. It's. I'm also old in terms of,
nostalgia
like,
and being old are not the same thing.
Yeah, but yeah. A
But,
long
I mean, I
time has
guess-
passed.
I think the thing that links to both of those things. It's like when you listen or when you consume that media, you're like, oh, those were the days.
Oh
Yeah,
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 that's what
exa-
nostalgia
yeah.
is.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of effect that. They
Yeah,
go
it's kind of
for.
like resentment, essentially.
Mm.
YouTube used to be much wholesome back then. Now it's just.
9-year-olds
Well.
playing Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss those days. But regardless, I guess that's how life is.
Oh yeah, you have to think about this. There'll be kids going out trick or treating, not this year obviously, but they'll be wearing, Fortnite Halloween costume.
Oh no, that's the worst.
No, it's not the worst. It just shows
It shows
these
how far
kids
we've
have
come
been-
as like
These
humanity.
kids are raised on Fortnite.
Yeah, it's
Well,
weird.
well,
that-
well,
And I bet
what
they've
were
like
we
spent
raised
half
on?
of their parents' wealth on it as well.
What game were we raised on, huh? What game
I was
Mario-
raised on New Super Mario Brothers.
yeah,
game
Mario
would
games.
we
Like,
be going outside trick or treating dressed as?
I
When in my year 6 Halloween party, I was Ash Ketchum, but like in other
God,
years,
of course you are.
I was Mario.
yeah, it's been a long time since I actually went out trick or treating and actually
I've never
dressing
been
up.
trick or treating. I've never been trick.
I have been trick or treating, and I usually go as like a vampire. Nah, I know there was.
I think I just used to like buy candy, like act
You
like
know,
I went trick or treating.
I've just been thinking there's gonna be a point where people stop being scared of vampires and stuff. They won't hold as much traction anymore because
I mean, like the movies about vampires haven't been like too scary, have
the
they?
story of Dracula is
Hotel Transylvania.
old, like old.
It really is old.
Something like 1800s.
But then again, old stories do come up.
Yeah, but they get more and more outdated, and
They get
we
regressed. I know.
they get more and more outdated, and we shouldn't talk about this because politics, as every year goes on. So eventually, we'll get to the point where, we've got all these news stories, and Dracula and stuff are just kind of there.
There's gonna be a point where English teachers just don't teach about them anymore.
I don't think it's on like many curriculums anymore, like
I
Dracula
mean,
and stuff.
it was in our year 9 curriculum.
We only have Jekyll and Hyde, I think,
No, that's year 10.
and Frankenstein.
Yeah, last year.
Oh, just
we
have
studied
all
about it,
of the whole
like,
GCSE
during the whole
course. I
lockdown
mean,
thing.
we just have like Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll. We don't have like any werewolf. I haven't read a werewolf story in
The thing is,
a couple years now.
the literature that like is on most curriculums are like Jekyll and Hyde stuff. They're from like the 80s and 90s, right? Is there gonna be a point like where English like teachers study about freaking Harry Potter in like 2030s?
There's gonna be a point where English teachers study books written about 2020.
Oh yeah, that would be.
And,
Because
it won't even be that far in the future. I guarantee by the end of 2020, someone will have written some kind of book encompassing everything that happened, and then by 2025, English teachers will be studying it.
Yeah, there's gonna be no history. No, it's more so history teachers. Because right now they're studying about
English
freaking-
teachers, because it will be all this this has happened recently. What if it
Yes,
happens
I
again?
know, but let's say in like 10 years, history teachers are gonna be teaching about what happened this year.
history
Like right now,
teachers
every
won't.
history.
No, history teachers won't want their hands on it for like a good long while because it's too recent. 10 years. So that'll be like some of the most modern history you can think of.
But it's weird because
It's still history, Alfie.
Also, nothing really happened this year. For English teachers, it'd be great because everyone's so isolated and they couldn't go out on Halloween as well. It was so weird. But for history teachers, it would
Yeah,
just be
but
like.
Halloween's not really worth it.
And
is it?
then this year, nothing happened because everyone couldn't do anything.
so sad how we expected 2020 to be such a good year, and then
Yeah,
it's
it
just
was.
like,
It was like it's the beginning of a new decade, and then freaking.
we
you
thought it
can't
was
go out
Just
anymore.
a
wasn't,
time of prosperity and peace, but nah, no.
Like it was, yeah. At least we got some like enjoyment from March.
Enjoyment.
Something I
Enjoyment
won't
when
be
we're
getting
all
enjoyment
sitting
out
here
of
on
is horror
Halloween.
movies.
I mean,
What is your favorite horror movies? Apart from the since he hasn't seen any because he's a baby.
I don't really have a favorite because I don't like horror movies, and I've seen very few of them. The only one I could really have a decent conversation about is It, and
For me,
that's the
it's
new version.
Very, very.
I haven't seen.
clear
I haven't
answer.
seen much movies at all, really. Like,
My favorite is The Thing, by far.
Saying, what's the thing
Absolutely.
about?
Right. Brief summary. Mutating plant thing, steal. Okay, right. More up to date summary. It's basically what Among Us is. Way better.
What about, because like when you talked about
Among
mutating
Us.
plants, I was thinking of Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah, no, it's basically just It's basically just Among Us, imposters and whatever, except they can mutate and look whoever they want.
ah,
So it's
right.
it's like basically Among Us infection mode.
Infection. Oh yeah, I think
So,
I remember another horror movie I've seen. It's called World War Z.
What's that? I've never heard of that.
It's like a zombie apocalypse thing where it's like, I think it's this guy who's trying not to be infected and he has to protect like his daughter or something. I don't remember the full thing, but it's this like really gripping adventure because you're like really on the edge of your seat because like sometimes he can be like a whisker away from being infected. I remember that one. That was actually a pretty good horror
Zombie
movie.
movies never cut it for me. Just
Hmm.
they just do the same thing. Zombies are predictable. Like
You just kill them
what
for
other
it,
things is a
dinosaur.
zombie gonna do? It's gonna walk at you. It's gonna go bleh, and it's gonna eat your brains. What other things it's gonna do, huh? What other things could it be written in to do while still being a zombie? Nothing. Zombies are supposed to be like secondaries. They're supposed to be minions. They're not supposed to do their own thing.
I mean, because zombies were like people.
Yeah, that's the whole point. They're just regular humans, but dead. They don't have any like capabilities.
No,
like
they're
a vampire can turn into things and stuff.
Can
But-
you though?
Well, yeah, a vampire can turn into like a bat or a wolf.
Not all the time.
It's got all the time. It's a basic trait, you know. Like
Oh,
a
so-
typical vampire trait, and like werewolves, obviously, like human by day and a wolf at the full moon. What else is there?
Right.
What else
Sure.
is there? There's ghosts who are like, ghosts. But then
Ghosts are
zombies
ghosts.
don't do anything. Do they?
I know.
They don't really have any defining ability other than just being undead.
Okay, so in your mind, Alfie, what would be like your perfect horror movie to sink your teeth into?
First of all, no jump scares. That's boring. That's predictable. That would be my first criteria. You want all horror to be either gore or you want it to be just ambient, because then like it's not a jump scare. It's creepy, and that's what gets people. You know? Second of all, you don't want zombies in it because they don't do anything. You want them to be.
What's your point about? Oh my god!
In fact, you don't actually want a definitive villain or a anti person. You know, we want you just ideally someone who just kills people, like a regular person. But you
I see
never
what you
know
mean.
who it is. You never know if they have any external capabilities. There could be something supernatural going on. Who knows? It's never explained. You need, for a good horror movie, you need unanswered questions. You need something unexplained.
So even by the end of the movie, you're
Even
still
by
asking.
even by the end of the movie, not even if there's a sequel or anything. You just, for a good horror movie, there needs to be questions. You need to question things. Because if all your questions are answered, then it's not scary. Because, oh, you know how all of this happened. But if you don't know how it happened, then you start thinking of reasons why.
Yeah, that could give for a sequel.
Yeah, but then you don't make a sequel, so you leave people to theorize on their own,
Yeah,
making it
but
scarier. Because then
money,
people.
Alfie.
Okay, we're not talking about money here. If it was talking about money, I would have very different criteria, such as casting Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict
Yeah, well,
Cumberbatch. Wait, has Benedict Cumberbatch? I've said it wrong again. What?
Yeah, you did
Could you
say
say
it
his name
wrong.
again?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Has he been in like anything horror related?
I don't actually know.
yeah.
Probably.
What movies has he been in? Because I don't like.
He's been
know
in
what.
Doctor Strange.
I
I know
haven't watched
that.
Doctor Strange. I'm sorry.
He's been in
Probably
the
been in something horror. It
Imitation
just
Game. I haven't seen
seems
that.
like it would be. You know.
But okay, so if Benedict Cumberbatch, if he were in a horror movie, what would he be doing?
He would either be the hero or the villain. Very plain and simple. You gotta have a big star, take a big role, unless you got more than one.
Why specifically Benedict?
Well, now that he's Doctor Strange, he pays. People want to see him.
I mean,
People
there
wanted
are
to see
loads
him
of.
before, but especially now.
He takes like a big chunk out of the budget.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you get big actors, and then you make more money, then that's not a problem. You just
even
have
if
to have a good film to back up the big actors.
so, even if money were taken out of the equation, and you still wanted a good horror movie, if you watch one with Benedict Cumberbatch, do you think you would get some sort of enjoyment
Oh,
out
if
of
money
it?
was taken out of the equation, it doesn't matter who you cast. As long as they're,
Yeah,
good.
but you can't make a movie like for free, can you?
No, you can't make a movie
Yeah.
for free. But you can make one for cheap if you use actors that aren't big. But then, of course, if your movie does well, those actors get big, and they, if you want to get them back again, it will be even harder because they'll be more expensive.
Okay.
It's just a.
So we've been talking a lot about horror movies and what the sort of stuff that we like. Alfie, do you have any recommendations for both us and the listeners
About what?
about the good horror movies to get into?
And I just said the thing. There's not much else I can recommend because if I can recommend
Regardless,
something,
I wouldn't watch any like horror movies to begin with.
if I recommend something, then the chances are they've already seen it. The thing. But now let's get to a big question. What's you scared of?
Oh, okay.
I'm not. Okay. There's not much things I'm scared of.
So what are you
There are
scared
many
of?
things that. What?
If there's not much you're scared of, you've got to be scared of something.
I'm not scared. I'm scared of nothing. Okay. I know I'm myself. I'm not arachnophobic, and I don't like. I'm not scared of like freaking flies or whatever. Like unlike Alfie here.
Okay.
However, heights do. I'm not as scared as them as I used to be, but heights do tend to like. I'm really uneasy like with heights, unless I'm like,
Alright.
super safe.
So what would you do if you were standing on top of what, like the Empire State Building? How would that
Why would
feel
I
to
be
you?
doing that?
No, just what would it make you feel like?
Context, Alfie.
No, just tell me. If you were standing on top of the Empire State Building, what would that be like?
I don't know. If you can call 911.
I don't mean like on the spire. I mean standing near the top on like a safe place.
Oh, I mean that's fine then. I don't care.
So it's not necessarily being high up. It's being high up but not safe.
Yes, essentially, it's like with a risk of death.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But
Erol,
like
what about you?
sometimes, like for example, when I go to like the bull ring in city center, when I'm at the third floor and I look down, it does kind of look a little bit uneven. But I know I'm safe because I'm not stupid to jump off the edge.
Erol, what are you scared of?
Okay, it's weird because I don't have like a conventional fear. It's like I'm not really scared of spiders. I'm not scared of flies. I'm kind
Is
of
there
scared
an
of
unusual
heights.
fear that you're scared of?
Okay, I'm not sure if you guys know what prosopagnosia is.
Oh
What is
no,
it?
I definitely
But
don't know what that is.
There's basically like this disorder in the nerve system where you can't recognize faces.
So you're scared of being unable to
No.
recognize faces?
Okay, let me just like explain it in more detail because I think there are like different types of prosopagnosia. It's either when people have no face at all, or everybody has the same face. I've seen the visual representations for that. I've seen like TV series that pivot on the point of prosopagnosia, and that thing scares me. Like, it scares me so much.
What, like everyone having the same face?
Yeah, it would be it because I've seen those visual representations. They look scary. Like,
What are they supposed to be like? The average face, just an average human face.
Yeah, what's considered the
Um,
average face though?
Yeah, that's the thing. No one knows what the average face is. It looks weird.
but it just
Yeah, like
scares me up because it would be horrifying if one day I woke up and everybody had the same face or no face at all.
No.
Oh,
Like
I think
that's
the same face would be worse than no face. Way worse.
yeah,
no,
exactly.
no face would be worse.
No, Leorge, if you think about it, everyone you know and don't know having the same face.
Just tell by their
That's
voice.
that's part of the uniqueness just gone.
No, and
Just
even
tell
worse.
voice. Then you're in the blind person situation.
Yeah,
You're
because
not, you're not in a
because
blind person situation because it's only the face that changed. You can
Yeah.
still see everything, but like, what do you do if everyone has the same face?
Tell by their
What do you
skin
do?
color or their voice box.
skin color. I mean, because I think skin color doesn't make much of a difference either. Like it might still appear
It shouldn't make a difference.
at least not. But like the thing that worries me is that you could like think somebody is your mom and it turns out they aren't and you won't know. Like that's the scary part because you have to trust everybody around you.
Or someone else could think you are their mom. Then what do you do? What would that feel like to you? You know?
I mean,
Could
it would
be
be
in
a
the
bit
situation where you get mistaken for someone else and you can't say, oh no, I don't look anything like them, because you do. You have the same face.
I mean, that does
Yeah,
make
but
sense.
like, what face is that then? I don't think everyone would have the mom's face. I don't think that's the face they
No.
go off.
Just think, if everyone has the same face, then you have to recognize people without using their face. Think about how hard that is.
It almost
voice-
feels like
voice-
Think about your
Voices.
brain. Think about how your brain recognizes people, and then try and think about if you could recognize them without seeing their face.
yeah, and it
voice.
almost
Voice. That's
No,
what
not
blind
without
people use.
voices either, right? If I showed you a picture of someone just with their back turned, could you identify it straight away?
No.
And then if I showed you someone head on showing their face, could you identify them straight away?
I mean, it depends if I have the disease or not.
No, just like right now.
In most cases, if I know, yes.
Okay, so what if I showed you two pictures of two different people, but their faces looked exactly the same? Could you identify them?
No.
Exactly. So you can't identify people anymore. That's
I mean,
terrifying.
yeah, you need to see him face like in like IRL.
It's just the oh my god, George. It's the concept of not being able to identify people.
Yes, I'd rather have no face than that.
No face.
You'd
It's
rather
just-
have.
You can get used to no face.
Yeah.
You can't get used to the same face.
Yeah, that's the part that scares me. See,
You
it's like
cannot
this.
accept that everyone has the same face
Alright, Alfie,
because you'll
what's your
always make
face?
mistakes. Oh, it's bees. You know.
Bees.
What bee experience did you have that caused you to?
I don't know. It's just I don't. I'm not a fan of. What I guess it comes from. I'm not a fan of penetration of the skin. First of all.
So I guess you hate the bee movie, huh?
Okay, shut up.
Wait, so if you have like some fear about like penetration of skin, do needles scare you?
Oh no, needles don't scare me because I don't look necessarily. It's not. I'm not scared of the thought of something penetrating. I'm scared of the actual. I'm scared of it happening.
Yeah, needles.
And if there's with needles, there's no lasting pain. With a bee sting, there is very much lasting pain.
Well, then
Ooh.
don't live next to something that has bees or whatever.
So it's just like bees. I don't know. It's like they're different to needles because with needles you know it's controlled. You know very little chance of something going wrong. You know there won't be very many after effects. With bee, it's random. Don't know how much it'll hurt. You don't know what it will do. Could start an allergic reaction. You never know. It's just too random.
Yeah, but it's
That's,
kind
that's
of
a
like
good explanation. Yeah.
it makes sense, but it wasn't really. It's not as weird as Erol's thing, but it's not as conventional as heights or spiders.
And I'm sure
Yeah.
there are thousands of people around the world who are scared of bees.
Yeah, I guess there's like thousands who don't love bees, but I'm not saying there's how. Yeah, but no one like not many people are gonna be avidly like vividly scared of them. They're just gonna be like, they're gonna think of them as a nuisance more than anything.
I mean, yellow and black are the natural colors of danger.
Are they?
Yeah, that's why bees go yellow and black to warn other animals that they are dangerous.
Yeah, but
Because
Yellow
like
and
yellow and
black
black
are.
are as colors. Like black is the dangerous color, but
The
yellow
thing
isn't
with
considered
yellow
that
and black,
dangerous.
it's like they're striking. It's like wee you, look at me. You don't want to do anything to me because I'm so striking.
Yeah, but
I
ambulance,
stick
but
out.
like, but red is more dangerous than yellow.
Not to an
if you
animal.
saw what would be more dangerous than what would look more dangerous, a yellow and a black bee or a red bee?
A red bee would be dangerous.
Leorge, there's a reason ladybirds get eaten more than bees. In the animal world, yellow and black is more threatening.
Why? Why? Who made that decision?
The decision was made by the fact that the yellow and black bees survived and evolved, and the ones that were all the other colors didn't.
There are like thousands of surviving that aren't yellow and black.
I mean, if we take away the bee context and use butterflies, I'm sure a black and yellow butterfly would look slightly more dangerous than a red one.
Yeah, but the thing with butterflies is there's all these different
Butterflies aren't
types.
scary.
They're all different, patterns.
And
With
butterflies aren't
bees,
necessarily scary.
there's a lot less variation between the types. Also, they can't hurt you. I mean, the butterflies can't hurt you, and bees can.
I'm just like talking hypothetically, like if a black and yellow butterfly landed on my windowsill, I'd be a little bit more cautious than if a red one did.
I mean, you wouldn't though.
I'm just saying, like, even if I'm not taking into account the fact, because I know it's harmless, of course, but I'll just be like, butterfly. It's, I mean, I'm sure the bee thing works a bit better, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, bees are scary because people make them scary.
Isn't everything scary because people make it scary?
Yeah, exactly. People didn't make butterflies a scary thing.
I mean, there's Mothra. If it was more popularized now, the
Yeah,
people
but
would
Mothra
definitely
isn't
be
a
scared of it.
butterfly though.
Close enough.
Isn't she? Isn't it like a moth?
Well, yeah, it's a moth, but it's close enough to a butterfly, isn't it? It's not like
So-
someone's going to be scared of butterflies, though. because no one's made him scary. If someone makes a horror film where all the butterflies in the world decide to rebel and eat people's flesh, and it gets popular and it's done well, people might start being scared of butterflies.
That's actually a good point because, yeah, we only make things. We only make things like, okay, we only feel certain things if other people feel them. I guess it's
a
kind of
hive
like the
mind.
okay, like say if somebody threw up, your son like you would get the instinct to throw up as well. So I guess like
All a
yeah, the
hive.
whole like if you make something, if you can take something and make it like a horror concept, then yeah, I'm sure that does work. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Alfie.
It's like what scary things are based on, because if you told me the concept of a man who could turn into a wolf when the full moon hit, if the werewolf stories had never been made, like if that was just a brand new concept yesterday or something, I'd say, oh, that's cool, that could make for a cool superhero or something. But since they've got all this build up of being scary,
Yeah,
they're scary.
it's all about literature that makes it
Well,
terrible.
no, it's not about literature. It's about interpretation. It's about
and
passing them
conventional
down in the
beliefs. It's all
in the
a hive
same
mind.
interpretation. If someone rewrote Dracula to be some kind of policeman or something, then it wouldn't be scary.
Policeman.
I'm making things up.
Okay.
Hypothetical.
I have like this fun question. So if we were to take 2020 and turn it into a horror movie, what would be going on?
Well, it's very
If
simple.
if you like exaggerated, like if you amped up the like what's been happening.
It's just gonna be someone sitting in a room for 20 years.
No, if you exaggerate it, you got all of Australia burns up and there's no one left. First of all,
On California.
and then you got the virus outbreak, but it's not a killer virus. It just forces everyone to stay in their homes permanently, as opposed to temporarily. That would make for a great horror film.
I guess you can
Psychological horror.
characterize the virus as like a villain.
No, you can't. They just stay in the house, isolated. They could be isolated from their own family. Think about how they would drive everyone in the world isolated from everyone else.
So instead of it being more of a physical horror, it's more psychological. Is that
Yeah, that's the best kind of horror. You know,
hmm.
Alright.
people dying left, right, and center just gets boring.
Alright, I guess we've talked about horror movies for long enough. Well, this is the end of our I guess 30 to 40-minute long episode. Thank you, Alfie, for joining with us, and join us next week where we do something else. See you guys.
Bye guys.